So let's talk about it, PC gamers. Is 8GB of VRAM enough this day and age? The Nvidia RTX 3050 was recently announced at CES, and on this lower tier card we see a grand total of 8GB of GDDR6 VRAM, when we still see the higher end cards like the 3070 rocking the same 8GB of VRAM. Experts, outlets, and Nvidia themselves account this for the bus on each card. The 3060, for example, has a narrower bus than the 3070, thus they say more VRAM was needed to make up for it. And a side note, if you want a good explanation on how the bus and VRAM works together, go check out How Much VRAM Do You Really Need by Jay's 2 Cents, I'll link the video in the description. But overall, I think we're hitting a point where while the bus on a graphics card definitely matters, that the VRAM is becoming more and more important. As the owner of a 3070, I can personally account for this, especially as more and more games become more demanding, most notably especially when you have a PS5 and the Series X with 16GB of high-speed GDDR6 RAM. So to the question, is 8GB enough? First, let's look at a few recent titles. Playing Cyberpunk 2077, a title from 2020 set to 1440p at high settings with RTX on and DLSS balance activated, puts us at 7.5 gigs out of 8. The game runs amazingly like this, but that is a lot of VRAM usage. Though then again, we all know Cyberpunk 2077 runs insanely demanding on most rigs and consoles. So let's look at another example. Not long ago, at the end of 2021, we saw the release of Halo Infinite. This runs at 6.4 gigs of VRAM on high settings at 1080p. Then I'm sure we all know about Doom Eternal, a game that's a bit older, but it is very demanding on the VRAM if you want more bells and whistles on the visual side. Overall, 8GB of VRAM is becoming closer to what games need and expect these days, and I also suspect that over the next year or two that we will see many more titles get close to it unless we have them insanely well optimized. But then again, that all depends on the title and more importantly, the developer behind it. So then, should you go out and pick up an RTX 3050 at launch, a 3060 Ti, a 2070, or an RTX 3070? As long as you aren't supporting a scalper, I would say yes. But I would note that yes is for now, for the time being. It should last you a few years if not longer, so long as you are willing to tweak with settings. Then if you can also somehow secure one of these cards for MSRP, actual MSRP, I'd say yes even more so. I know my Gigabyte Aorus Master 3070 runs like a champ, and while some games turned all the way up comes close to 8GB, they don't quite hit it. Not yet anyways. Overall, it seems the new standard going forward in the next generations of GPUs from the likes of AMD and Nvidia may need to be a 10GB of VRAM or higher minimum, just to be future safe, proofed, and leave room for these new upcoming demanding video games, even for the lower spec cards like this 3050 and eventually the 4050. But hey, look at the 3060. Yes, it has 12GB, yes they say it's for the bus, but that 12GB is going to be a boon for those who own the card years down the line. This has been TJ here at ZekOfficial Gaming, and I will catch you guys on the next one.